At one time the Buddha was staying in the kingdom of Magadha, near the Pa mountain, where past Buddhas often subdued the Mras. It was during the summer meditation retreat, when the Buddha was doing walking meditation on the mountaintop with Raputra, that he spoke in verse, hearken single-mindedly. In radiant great Samdhi, the one with unsurpassed virtue will rightfully appear in the world. That one will pronounce the wondrous Dharma, and all will be infused with it, like the thirsty drinking the sweet nectar. All will swiftly set off on the liberation path. At that time the four groups of the Buddha's disciples repaired and leveled the roads. They sprinkled water, swept the streets, and burned incense. A huge multitude holding objects of offering, came to the assembly to make offerings to the Tathagata and the bhikkhus. Intently gazing at the Tathagata, they were like filial sons beholding their father, or like the thirsty longing for a drink of water. In the same way they loved and thought of their Dharma father. With one mind they all wanted to request the Dharma king to turn the right Dharma wheel. With their senses yundis tracked, one by one, their minds flowed toward the Buddha. At that time bhikkhus, upsakas, and upsiks, as well as gods, dragons, spirits, Gandharvas, Asuras, Garuas, Kinnaras, Mahoragas, humans, non-humans, and others, all rose from their seats and circumambulated the Buddha to the right. Then they each fully prostrated themselves on the ground, shedding tears before the Buddha. At that time Raputra the wise straightened his robe and bared his right shoulder. Having been following the Buddha the Dharma king, to turn the right Dharma wheel, he was the minister of the Buddha and a great general upholding the Dharma. Out of sympathy for sentient beings, he wanted them to be liberated from the bondage of sufferings. Knowing that the Dharma king's mind would be responsive, he said to the Buddha, "World-honored one, just now the Tathagata spoke in verse on the mountaintop, praising the one with the foremost wisdom. This has never been mentioned in previous sutras. The minds of this huge multitude are now filled with expectation. They shed tears like heavy rain, hoping to hear the Tathagata speak about the next Buddha Maitreya, who will open the sweet nectar path. Maitreya Buddha's name, his virtue, his spiritual power, and his land will be sublime. Based on what kind of good roots, precepts, almsgiving, meditation, wisdom, and intellect will one be able to see Maitreya Buddha? With what mindset should one walk the eightfold right path?" When Raputra was asking this question, hundreds of thousands of God's sons and innumerable Brahma kings, joining their palms reverently, spoke in one voice, also asking the Buddha, "World-honored one, we pray that you will enable us in a future life to see Maitreya Buddha, the fruition of the greatest reward to all men, the illuminating eye of the threefold realm, who will teach great loving kindness and compassion universally to sentient beings." The 8 classes of Dharma protectors, joining their palms reverently, also made the request to the Tathagata in the same way. At that time Brahma kings and a multitude of Brahma gods, joining their palms, sang their praise in one voice with a stanza, Namo the full moon. Complete with the 10 powers, the leader of great energetic progress, valiant and fearless, the one with all wisdom knowledge, having transcended the threefold realm of existence, having acquired the 3 thorough clarities, having subdued the formras, his body being a Dharma vessel, his mind vast like space, silent and unmoving toward existence and non-existence, and toward emptiness and non-emptiness, with perfect understanding of Niyat, one who is praised by the world. We, with one mind, take refuge at the same time, praying that you will turn the Dharma wheel. At that time the world-honored one told Raputra, I will expound broadly to you. Hearken, hearken, and ponder it well. All of you today, with a wonderful good intention, want to ask the Tathagata about the unsurpassed Bodhi work and the great wisdom, Maitreya. The Tathagata sees it as clearly as a mango in the palm. Raputra, if one has heard, under the past 7 Buddhas, the names of Buddhas and made obeisance and offerings, for this reason, one's karma hindrances will all be annihilated. If one has also heard of Maitreya Buddha's great loving kindness, one will attain a pure mind. You all should join your palms single-mindedly and take refuge in the great loving, kind, compassionate one to come. I will expound broadly to you. The land of Maitreya Buddha will be a land of pure life, with no sycophancy or deceit, because he does not embrace or cling to his attainment in dna pramit, law pramit, and prajna pramit. It will be sublime because of his 10 wonderful vows. When sentient beings, drawn by his great loving kindness, rouse their gentle minds, they will see Maitreya Buddha. They will be reborn in his land, tame their senses, and follow the Buddha's teachings. Raputra, at that time the water surface of each of the 4 great oceans will be reduced by 3,000 yojanas. Jambudpa will be 10,000 yojanas in length and in width. Its ground will be level and clean, like a crystal mirror. There will be large flowers that suit one's fancy, pleasing flowers, huge fragrant flowers, utpala blossoms, flowers with large golden petals, flowers with petals made of the 7 treasures, and flowers with silver petals. The stamens of these flowers will be soft like celestial silk. They will bear auspicious fruits with aroma and flavor, which are soft like celestial cotton. In the forests, there will be abundant wonderful flowers and sweet fruits, surpassing those in the garden favored by the god King Akra. The trees will be 30 lis in height. The adjacent cities will be only a rooster's flight apart. Those who have planted good roots under the present Buddha will reborn in that world as the reward for their practice of loving kindness. They will be wise, virtuous, happy, and peaceful, as they gratify the 5 desires. They will not have illnesses caused by cold, heat, wind, or fire, nor will they have the misery of the 9 afflictions. They will each live to 84,000 years in full, and no one will die a premature death. Their body will be 160 feet tall. Every day they will enjoy wonderful peace and bliss, experiencing deep meditation as their instrument of happiness. They will have only 3 troubles: first, need to eat and drink; second, need to discharge bodily wastes; and third, need to grow old. Women will marry when they are 500 years old. There will be a great city called Kethama, which, adorned with the 7 treasures, will be 1,200 yojanas in length and in width, and 7 yojanas in elevation. Inside will be magically created towers made of the 7 treasures, and they will be majestic, wonderful, august, and pure. Through the windows will be seen fair maidens, holding nets made with precious beads. These towers will be covered with various treasures as adornment and hung with jeweled bells, the sound of which resembles celestial music. Among the lines of trees made of the 7 treasures will be waterways and fountains, also made of the 7 treasures. The streams in various colors will reflect and highlight one another. Although crisscrossing in flow, they will not obstruct one another. The river banks will be entirely covered with gold dust. The streets and roads of the city will be 12 lis wide, all as fresh as a celestial garden sprinkled with water and swept clean. There will be a great dragon king called Tarakin, which has merit and awesome powers. Its lake being near the city, its palace, like a tower made of the 7 treasures, will be fully visible from a distance. At midnight he will assume a human form and fill an auspicious bottle with fragrant water. He will sprinkle this water to drench the dust until the ground looks as moist as if oiled. When pedestrians walk around, there will be no dust. This is a reward resulting from the merit of the people. Everywhere around the streets and alleys will be luminous beads mounted on poles, and their light, like the sunlight, will reach 80 yojanas in each of the 4 directions. This pure golden light will shine day or night. In comparison, the light of lamps and candles would be like pooled ink. When the fragrant winds blow, the luminous beads on the poles will rain down necklaces of jewels, and people will wear them as naturally as if they were enjoying the bliss in the third dhyana. Everywhere will be gold, silver, jewels, precious beads, and so forth, piled up like mountains. These treasure mountains radiate light to illuminate everywhere in the city. Whenever illuminated by this light, people will all be happy and activate the Bodhi mind. There will be a great yaka named Bhadraprasaka, who protects the city of Kethama day and night. Followed by the people, he will sprinkle water and sweep the ground clean. The ground will crack open to take in people's discharged waste products and clothes afterward, and it will grow red lotus blossoms to overpower the foul odor. When the people of that world grow old and frail, they will voluntarily go to the mountain forest to sit under a tree. As they keep thinking of the Buddha, they will die peacefully and joyfully without any fanfare. After death, most of them will be reborn in great Brahma heaven or in the presence of Buddhas. In that peaceful land, there will be no trouble of bandits and thieves, robbing and stealing. The doors in cities and villages will never be closed. Nor will there be any catastrophes of water, fire, weapons, or troops, nor the tribulation of famine or harmful toxins. Taming their senses, people will live in loving kindness, respect, and harmony. To one another, they will be like a son loving his father, like a mother loving her son. Taught and guided by Maitreya Buddha's loving kindness, they will speak humble words. Their senses will be calm, and their features even and straight, as awe-inspiring as those of celestial youths. Those who have been observing the precept of not killing and not eating flesh will, for this reason, be reborn in that land. The city of Kethama will be situated in the center of 84,000 small cities made of treasures, which will serve as its satellites. Men and women, adults, and children, living near or far, because of the spiritual power of the Buddha, will be able to see one another without any obstacles. Everywhere in that world will be wish-fulfilling jeweled flowers that shine in the night. Flowers made of the 7 treasures will rain down from the sky. Scattered all over the grounds will be blossoms of Padma, Utpala, Kumita, Puarka, Ndarva, Mandarva, Manjaka, and Mahamanjaka. Some of them, swept up by the wind, will be whirling in the air. The bathing pools, fountains, rivers, and lakes in the gardens and forests near the cities and villages of that land will naturally have the water of the 8 virtues. Singing wonderful tones will be geese, ducks, mandarin ducks, peacocks, parrots, halcyons, ars, melodious cuckoos, javajvas, and the quick-sighted birds.